Good afternoon, good morning, or wherever you may be from. We're going to go ahead and get started here right away. This is the Paper Hall coaching for April 11th already. Can't believe it here. Let me know you can hear me loud and clear, and we'll get started. We've got a lot of great questions and that came in, so we want to do that. Get it. Okay, good, awesome. Loud and clear. Okay, cool. Awesome. From Reno. How you doing? Good. Sounds good. All good? Okay, excellent. Yes, sir. Okay, let's go ahead and get started then. And screen's on. It's recording. We're ready to go. I want to start off today by sharing with you a scientific study that took place in the 60s. And this took place in Stanford, in California. And it was called the marshmallow experiment. And the marshmallow experiment, what it did is they took a group of 4 to 6-year-olds and they would put them in a room, and they would have a doctor come in there, or a psychologist would come in, and he'd say to the child, I'm going to leave this one marshmallow with you, and I'm going to leave the room for 5 minutes, and I'm going to go get some more marshmallows. Now, while I'm gone, if you don't eat this one marshmallow, I'll bring you back 2 more marshmallows in 5 minutes. That way you'll get a total of 3 marshmallows. And the instructor, to make it very clear to the child, would you rather have 1 marshmallow or 3? And they're all like, no, I want 3. I said, okay, good. Then just don't eat that marshmallow. I'll be back in 5 minutes. As long as that marshmallow, you've not eaten it, I'm going to give you 2 more. So they'd leave the marshmallow in front of the child. The professor would walk out of the room, shut the door, and they were filming it. And what happened was, and they did this consistently across not just the United States, but across different cultures, Korea, Colombia, all over the world. And the results were the same. It was consistent that 3 out of the 4 kids couldn't handle the full 5 minutes. They just couldn't take it. They're staring at that marshmallow, and they knew if they were to take a bite of it that they would lose out on getting 2 more. And they couldn't, and they ended up just eating it. And I've seen some of the videotapes of it, and they're pretty hilarious, because the kids will come in. Some of them will come in really close to it, sniff it, and they'll get a little bit of the kind of donut or a little bit of the marshmallow on their nose, and they'll kind of lick it off. And some of them will start to nibble at it just a little bit. Some of them, as soon as that door shuts, they just grab the whole thing and just shove it in their mouth. Others wait 2 or 3 minutes. Others get right up to the last couple of seconds and just can't take it anymore. But so 3 out of the 4 consistently, no matter what culture, ends up eating the marshmallow. They can't wait. But 1 out of the 4 does consistently. And what the scientists discovered was that this was creating a lifelong pattern of delayed gratification, and exercising delayed gratification. And they did this in the 60s. So they since have gone on, and they've followed these original kids who went through the study throughout their schooling years, their high school, college if they went on, and now they're adults and they have families and stuff. And what was interesting is that the kids that were able to just kind of inherently and naturally practice delayed gratification, they consistently made more money. They consistently had a better quality of life. They consistently had better relationships. They consistently had better grades, and they consistently made more money. And they were in better health. And when I think about myself, and maybe some of you are thinking right now, would you be a 1 marshmallow kid or a 3 marshmallow kid? No matter how much I would want to be a 3 marshmallow kid, I know I'm not. I've always been a 1 marshmallow kid. I would be the kid that would try to resist for maybe about a minute. It's probably as long as I could last, and I would end up eating that marshmallow, even though full well knowing that I just gave up getting 2 more marshmallows. And that's just who I am. But knowing that, we also know that we can also change. And I think the majority of the people are, as the study shows, are one marshmallow. They're not good at delaying gratification. Now, I think that study holds a lot of merit. There's books out on it. There's extensive studies you can read on it, and their whole conclusion is that one of the secrets to success in life and being successful in life is being able to delay gratification, and it's tough because society, they don't encourage that. It's now, faster, better. Charge it up, worry about the cost later. Party it up now, worry about the consequences later. Don't worry about retirement now. You can worry about it later. Just live on the fast lane now. So society really doesn't support that. But just by being aware of that, you can make the changes in your life. This is not inherently how everyone needs to be. But I think they missed a huge part of the study because I really like the study. But one thing that I don't quite agree with, or I agree with it partially, I think delayed gratification is important. It's important to exercise that in all areas of your life. However, I don't think that's sustainable. I don't think it's sustainable, and I don't think it's sustainable long term. And what I mean by that is, I've struggled with food addiction and alcohol addiction. I'm a little over 5 years now sober, but and going through that process, I had to delay gratification. Right? I had to delay gratification, and both with food addictions and also with alcoholism. I had to delay gratification. But I can tell you from years, I wasn't able to really conquer those demons until my early 40s. And I tried. It's not like I didn't try in my 30s. It's not like I didn't try every year, like at least 4 or 5 or 10 times to lose the weight, to stop drinking. It's not like I didn't try. I've failed over and over again because I came at it from a delayed gratification response. I won't eat this now, and my gratification will be that I'll lose the weight and I'll be healthier, and then every once in a while I can treat myself. That system didn't work. It wasn't sustainable. And I'll tell you what was the difference, what made it sustainable, is that I fell in love with the process. I became passionate about the process of change. I became passionate about the process of delaying that marshmallow. And so, for example, let me give you some examples. So with overcoming my alcoholism, I really had to dig deep inside and really discover the reasons, why I was basically avoiding things in my life. And that process, although it was frightening in the beginning, as I started to do it, I started to discover more about myself, and I became passionate about that. That became the motivating factor. The motivating factor no longer was delayed gratification of delaying this so I can, lead a productive, healthy life. It was now on this never-ending self-discovery quest, and and being in groups and sharing experiences with other people and similar things, and the personal growth that takes place there. So I became passionate about the personal growth. Likewise with the food. I'm sure a lot more people here on the phone call can relate to that. Everyone has probably tried to lose weight, only to maybe gain it back, or even gain back a few more pounds through delayed gratification kind of perspective. But it really didn't stick with me until, again, I became passionate about food. I became passionate about eating really healthy food. And this goes way. I don't count calories or nothing. So it's not about learning about calories and weight loss and all that kind of crap. I can't get passionate about that. But I get passionate about studying how densely nutritious can I possibly get my food, and then you start exploring down the organic, and then you start learning about raw milk versus pasteurized milk, and then you start learning about all the processed foods and how really all the foods out there are just contained around 4 or 5 items, and half of those are genetically modified, and you just walk down the aisles and they've all got corn, soy, some type of sugar in it, which is now a lot of it's genetically modified. potatoes, and usually some kind of wheat like a flour. I mean, that's all that's what this nation is eating. It's just, and then a whole bunch of crap you can't read, and then they call it potato chips, wheat thins, cereals, health bars, all that kind of crap. And I just became really passionate about that stuff, and I started doing my own wheatgrass and my own sprouting, and it's all a process, right? And so I fell in love with the process. So although I think delayed gratification is a great starting point, and I think everyone needs to exercise that, I would encourage everybody on the phone call here to also look for ways to become passionate about the things that you want to do in your lives. In particular, anything. It applies to anything, but particularly when you're building a online business, you need to become passionate about it. You can't just delay gratification and say, okay, I'm going to work, I'm going to work my butt off here for the next however long it takes so that I can, get $6,000 or $10,000 or whatever your first goal is of income coming in, because it's not about the end goal. If it was, people would lose the weight and stuff. Like, oh, that's the end goal, I'm great. No, it's not. That's not the end goal. What makes it sustainable is falling in love with the process of building the business, of building your own creation, of tweaking it, of really understanding the process and try to better yourself, better understand the customers and the clients, getting involved in the process. So the true rewards is not in the delays. It's in the process itself, and it's never in the end results. So let's go ahead and get started here. Now we got everybody on the call. This is really small print, but someone just wrote in on here, and I'll just read this on here. Just wanted to share, this is a new member on here, said I wanted to share some great results from you. The past 4 days, I've been immersed in consulting the course and building my first niche site for a client. I followed your method 100% and built the template, and he goes on and on and on. Well, today I put the finishing touches on it, uploaded it, my video on the S3 account, so on and so forth. So he's done that. He cloned the site, and he goes on to say, I don't know how long it actually took, but I checked back at 4:30 p.m. In other words, it took less than a day, and the same day, there he was. He was on page 1. So these techniques really do work when you apply them. What I think is interesting but also awesome is towards the end on here, he also mentioned on here that he was one of the early adopters of this, and he had this program all the way back in January, and he's just now diving into it. So it's never too late, and the techniques work. So congratulations. All right, so this is a good question on here. And it's one that we're all going to face no matter what kind of niche that you're in. And it's how do you price your services for those businesses? That's the overall question. But the specific question here, but I'll answer it from a broader perspective too, is how do you price it for stuff that's like not on Service Magic, like attorneys or dentists, and other types of niches that are out there. And how do we take into account for other factors such as population, location, general practitioners, specialty, stuff like this, and also my thoughts on whether